Good afternoon and welcome to the most magical show in the keyboard community. I'm your host Merlin. If it's your first time here, thanks for joining in. This channel is all about building keyboards from the software to the hardware end, and today is a magic build stream. Let me show you what I'm building. Here we go. As you can see, there's quite a few items on my desk right now. There's the Tofu, there's some Novelkeys stabilizers, there's a PCB, and yeah, I'm basically building a reference build today. So what exactly is a reference build? A reference build is something that I came up with a few years back, just as I was building boards left and right. I figured, what is the standard that I build to? What's something that I'm going to be like, is it as smooth as this? Is it as rattly as this? Is it as solid as this? And I figured, why don't I make a board out of the most common parts but built to the best of my ability? So I did that. I did that back in, I'd say 2016, 2017. I don't have the board anymore because my wife took it. It was a Poker 3 white case with a Centrac PCB in it, with Gateron yellows and GMK stabilizers with EPBT Valentine. So basically just all of that together was what I tested all of my builds against, and I liked that board a lot. But my wife saw it and she was like, oh, that's really cute, that's white and that's pink, can I use it for work? And I'm like, sure, why not, right? She's my wife. But lately I've been getting lots of build requests, and it's kind of hard to, you know, if someone asks me to build a GH60, am I going to compare it to something like a Sirius? I'll be like, I don't know how this is going to work. So I figured I should rebuild that reference board. Let's see, who is here today? I see Duncan Yo-Yo. I see quite a few people, eight people today. Thanks for joining in, guys. Let me, oh, interesting. My little camera just froze on me. Uh-oh. Let's try that again. That's funny. My build camera got frozen for some reason. I am using a new device that I'm testing out right now. So I'm hoping that, let's see. Oh, okay, there it goes. It's starting to do its thing. Based on Nathan Kim's recommendation, he recommended a Elgato Camlink for me, Camlink 4K, just because I was asking him for other capture cards. So up till today, I've been using this capture card right here, this guy right here. This is a pluggable capture card, and yeah, so I figured I'd try the Camlink and see how it goes. We'll see, and so far it's not working. It was working just a while ago, so I'm like, shoots, dang it, Nathan Kim. Hold on, let's see if it doesn't come back up. I'm gonna have to use the old one. You're gonna unplug it. All right, I unplugged it here. Let me show you guys what it looks like right here. This thing right here. Just fully unplugged it. I'm gonna try it again. So the reason why it might not be working right now, especially when I'm streaming, is because I run a Mac OS system. Okay, let's switch it back. Camlink 4K, perfect. There, it's back again. It's back again, finally. There we go. Okay, nothing's freezing up. Be sure to let me know if you see it freeze up. That was just so random. Okay. So I'm just gonna go through all of the parts, but first show off what I'm drinking today. It's a bit chilly here in Seattle, so I figured I'd drink something nice and warm. This is a milk tea with brown sugar in it from my local Japanese grocery store. For those of you who have seen my stream before, I didn't really change any of the color settings. All I did was switch from this guy to the cam link. I'm wondering if the colors look any better. Hopefully it does, because this thing was hella expensive. It's like $110 versus, I think this was 50 or so. 50 or so. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's show off my hot pink tofu. Hot pink tofu right there. Merlin, why did you get a hot pink tofu for your reference build? Isn't that gonna attract your wife to take it again? Yes, it is. It is totally going to attract my wife to take it again. But, you know, I wasn't really looking for... Like, I wasn't looking to spend a lot of money on this. So a few weeks ago, I posted on Discord, hey, does anyone have a Tofu 60 for sale? Any condition and any color? And someone reached out to me and was like, Merlin, I have a Tofu I have not used at all. And I'm willing to let it go for shipping. Except it's hot pink. So I'm like, shipping's like what, 10 bucks? Sure, why not? So I did. Here we go. Vivin says, is the Leaf 60 VIA compatible? Yes. All QMK powered boards are technically are technically VIA compatible, except for maybe the ones that have Atmega 32A, since we haven't figured out VUSB yet. Pool Party Victor says, good afternoon, nice Starbucks mug. How Washingtonian of you. Servestia is also now following. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Alright, so that's the case that I'm using. PCB I'm using is something I've acquired quite a long time ago. And in my opinion is one of the better PCBs out there. What you guys are looking at is a, here, hold on. Stream still looks a bit dark. Let me actually up that. There we go. Hopefully that looks a little bit brighter. Yeah. So basically what this is a plain 60C from Martin Watt. Back then, by back then I mean like 2 months ago, you know, 3 months ago, he was only selling this out of his store in the, I actually don't know where he's from, I just know that he's from Europe. I think he's from Norway, or maybe the UK, not sure. But yeah, you can check out his stuff at martinwatt.com. What's special about this PCB? Number one, it's not Swiss cheese. Look at that. It's a very basic layout. You don't have a crazy bottom row or anything like that. You've got USB-C. You've got an Atmega 32U4 microcontroller. You have a reset switch. You don't have any form of lighting, no RGB underglow, no in-switch lighting or like anything like that. But you also have an ESD protection chip right there. One of the few people who actually put that on their board, so it's very appreciated. He doesn't sell these on his stores now, but a US vendor does. I posted it on, let's see if I can find it again. It's from Kingly Keys and kinglykeys.xyz. I'm going to post that in chat really quick. If anyone's interested in this PCB, sells for $35 within the United States. That's what I'll be building it with. The previous reference build was with the Centrac PCB, so yeah, not sure if that was the best choice at the time, but people learn and grow, right? The next component I'm using is a lot of bubble wrap. Is a vacuum packed E-white coated 60% aluminum plate. This was actually courtesy of Yan, one of the QMK collaborators. Once again, this was back when I was asking, hey, who's got a cheap parts they can sell me, like cheap but relatively good quality? And he's like, oh, I've got one of these. You want it? We'll give it to you for shipping. I'm like, okay, why not? So here I am with a vacuum packed plate. The next part in my arsenal will be stabilizers. These are Durock stabilizers, courtesy of Novelkeys. You can still purchase them right now, I believe. Let me... Novelkeys Durock. Oh, Vibe and sounds. I currently have B open, but it isn't detecting. Yes, even though they are compatible, you still have to do work in order to get it to work. Which I've been doing on Tuesdays actually. So it's not just plug and play. It's a different program which will require different firmware. Zark, you can win my heart today. Yeah, these are Durock stabilizers. If you guys haven't heard, GMK and / Cherry stabilizers aren't exactly the best these days, but Durock and Everglides are. So you can pick these up from Novelkeys. They only come in purple though, which doesn't make me happy because, as some of you know, I'm partially colorblind to the color purple. So I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? For keycaps, let's see, what keycap did I choose? I posted I was going to do white on black. My white on black set is currently on a board at work. Completely forgot to bring it home yesterday. So instead of white on black, I will go with the JTK orange on black, which should technically be the same type of material. Just won't vibe as well with the pink case. Oh well. Zark says the Everglides come in dark gray too, a bit harder to find. Yeah, for sure. They also come in clear, which is what Holton C of Prime KB was selling it with. So I bought like 4 of them from him. But for a board like this, I'm totally fine with using purples, just because it's, you know, it's not really a, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah, thanks for joining in, guys. Oh, looks like we've climbed to 27 viewers. Alright, okay. Let's get this show on the road. Play some music. There we go. Alright. Okay, first things first. We have got to lube some stabilizers. So I'm going to be doing basically a standard layout except with the split right shift. So we need a space bar, we need the left shift, we need the backspace, and we need the enter key. That's all we need. Just gonna start from there for now. Put these on the side. So what I like to do when it comes to stabilizers is lube the wire with Permatex branded dielectric grease. I've had this tube since since even before I came into keyboards. Like, this is the stuff I used for my car when I lubed up my spark plugs. It's still so much. Secondly, on the actual stab itself, the plastic on plastic bits, I like to use 205G0. Oh yeah, This is Project Keyboards Banded. What? My newest sponsor of this stream is actually Project Keyboards. I will talk about them later on in a bit, but he's my newest sponsor. I figured since he's been supporting this stream for so long already in various different ways, I might as well, you know, officially be an affiliate. Yeah. Alright, let's do this. Take them all apart, take them all apart. Zark says, wow, XDA canvas. Yeah. I really like XDA for typing for some reason. No color mods. Yeah, I unfortunately did not get the Bauhaus mods. Lala Island waves at me. Hello! Thanks for joining the stream. You've got the entirety of XDA canvas. Nice. What case is that? This case? Oh yeah, I should probably update Nightbot for that, since people are going to be asking. Thanks for reminding me. Do a exclamation point keyboard. That is a DZ60 Rev 3 in a KPB Public XD. Oh, I made a mistake. It's not an XD84 case. It's an XD64 case. Let me update that again. With 67G Xylent V1s and XDA canvas. Zark says, Mech Merlin, are you testing the future branch yet? No, I am not. I am testing VIA, actually. I know, who was it asking about VIA earlier? Vibin, yeah, Vibin was asking about VIA. I've been playing around with VIA a lot. So earlier this week, I managed to get the Duck keyboards, the Duck Eagle V2, working with VIA. So yeah, I haven't pushed the branch off yet into a PR, but I will soon. I will soon. Ooh, Talk About Chew has followed. Thanks for following, man. All right. Time to lube some stabilizers with 205G0. Vivin, if you are still watching, send me a request on my Discord channel, and I'll see if I can get that board into VIA for you. The tricky thing about that is you can't really test that VIA works unless you have the hardware with you. So, yeah. You might have to send me your board if you really want VIA working on it. Dark says, that doesn't look like port. It's not, yeah. What is the bottle that I have on my desk? You mean this? This is a bottle of 205G0, courtesy of Project Keyboards. It is lubricant for switches and for stabilizers. With stabilizers, you can be a little more liberal than you are on switches when it comes to using 205G0. Yeah, for the longest time I was just using dielectric grease to cover the entire stab, and that's a whole lot thicker. So even now, with me being liberal with 205G0, it's still thinner than any of my other lube jobs. And in many ways, I think it even sounds better. So definitely sticking with 205G0 in the future. Ryven says, I put too much lube on my stabilizers and now they're slow. Yeah, don't put too much lube on your stabilizers. It's one way to really have a detrimental user experience. Like the way you want to lube these is, okay, so I really like it when it's a clear housing because you can see exactly how much lube you are applying and what sides of it need to be spread out more and what does not. When I used to use GMK stabs, it was completely black and I couldn't see through them. I really had to look into it as close as I could and just guesstimate at what sides needed a little more lube, what sides had too much lube. You know, but with this, I can see it. See, look, I basically just use this much for the stabs. Hopefully my camera can focus. Focus. There we go, see? Just that much lube on the stabs. I smear it around as evenly as I can. I've never actually done any more than that, so I don't know if that'll improve or decrease the smoothness. But I'd rather be safe and just apply a little amount rather than more. Someone was asking me off stream, Merlin, where did you get your tofu? I thought China's closed down. I'm like, well, I did get it a while back, and from someone who already had it within the United States. But yeah, unfortunately, if you guys haven't been reading the papers, China has been struck with a pretty deadly epidemic, coronavirus. So if you're buying anything from China, not just keyboards, expect some delays. Lately I've been getting a lot more requests for lube jobs. Like they're like, oh Merlin, I have 300 switches, I have 100 switches, how much do you charge for lube? I'm just kind of like, Lubing switches is so tedious, but lubing stabilizers seems relaxing to me, just because I don't need to be as careful. Just need to spread it out. As long as it's spread out properly, should be good. Oop, too much lube, see? That is too much lube. That's too much lube. Just train your children to lube switches. You could, but technically children usually aren't careful. I'll probably train my wife to do it. I'll be like, it's like putting on makeup, except you put makeup on plastic. You'll see. We'll see. I have thought about certain shows in which I could bring my wife on. Perhaps teaching her how to do keep things might be one of them. Though it's kind of like she's already somewhat well versed in what to do, just because she hears me talk about it, she hears me complain about it, all that stuff. Interesting. Look at this. This guy has the screw coming out a bit. I might not be able to use this. Oh well. Long says charge $3 a switch. Yeah, that's, no one would ever hire me if I did that. Lux says, how much does the wire quality play into the stabilizer performance? Like if you mixed one of those cheap bars with the Durock housing. So I'm not sure if it's really the wire quality, but rather the wire thickness. So for example, I know some of the Chinese stabs, in order to save money, the wire itself isn't that thick. So when you put it in a stabilizer in which this inner housing part where the wire goes into is wide, if you have a much thinner wire, it's just gonna rattle a whole lot more. So then you're like, well, Merlin, why don't we just find stabilizers where the hole is smaller? Well, that's a different problem. If it's too small, what ends up happening is it gets way too scratchy. Which is what happened with GMK. Their new molds, that hole was smaller. Right. Alright, so one of my stabilizers has the screw-in portion tilted. Let me see what happened there. Oh, look at that. It's actually deformed. I'm gonna have to reach out to Mike and be like, hey man, one of the stabs you sent me is dead. Can't even seem to. Yep. Oh well. I'll just have to use another half of a stab. And make sure that everything is evenly coated. Right, okay. I think I'm done with the 205G0. We go to using dielectric grease. So Vibin, another thing I do to avoid over lubing is I only lube the actual housing, not the stem. Let's see. Oh, another good thing about Durock is you don't have to clip them. This is where you can be even more liberal with how much lube that you put on. So I actually learned this from Nathan Kim. I used to just coat it with my brush, but it's a lot faster just to dip it into the actual tube so it's nice and evenly coated. Potlay, thanks for joining in. I'm in the stabilizer build part of my stream. Ooh. Sugo Ivan just followed, and so did Saku VR. Thanks for following, guys. You're lubing your mobs. Nice. I thought about getting those, but I already have so many switches that I have to put into board still. I figured I'd just wait because they will come in eventually. Barbecue Kimchi says, I overlubed some stabs with finish line extreme fluoro. Is there an easy way to clean stabs quickly? No, there is not. You need to take them apart and you need to wipe them down. Because lubing them quickly, even if you did lube them quickly, or I mean unlube them quickly, you're only gonna get maybe like 10-15% of the extra lube off. Potlay, are you located in the United States as well? I'm surprised you got yours so quick. Who did you order from? Novelkeys or Project Keyboards? Texas. Oh, okay, yeah. You would get stuff fast. You got it from Canon Keys. Oh yeah, sorry, it was Canon Keys, not Novelkeys who sold them. Canon Keys is just in Rhode Island, so that's really not too far from you. First minute they came out, yeah. They are bound to be great switches. I'm kind of sad that I didn't buy any, but they will come again. There will be other times. No FOMO for me. All right, everything is lubed. We're gonna put it on the PCB now. Go. Another good thing about these Durock stabs that they're really tight, so they snap right in. If you don't have to hold them all down to make it work. Snap, snap, snap. Snap, snap, snap. So freaking tight. There we go. And last but not the least, stabilizer stem. Whew. All right, looking good. Looking good. Okay. I need to screw them in now, but before I screw them in, do I have any washers so I don't short anything? Sure I do. Aha! Here we go. Washers. Hey Jeremy, thanks for joining in. Before we do any kind of screw and stab, we need to put washers on. These are basically just felt washers that ensure I don't short the PCB on anything metal underneath it, such as the metal case that this will be going into. Some people have asked me if I think this is necessary. I think it is. I think it is. You don't want shorts on your board that are hard to diagnose. Mr. Petrov, thanks for subscribing for 11 months. Thank you so much. The Aaron Lau says, hey, 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 hey to you too. Better to be safe than sorry, says Zark. Yeah, absolutely. You just don't know. Potley subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Aaron Lau followed. Salty Strawberry followed. You guys. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Mr. Petrov, thank you. Only fair for lessening my pain during lubing. Yeah, I know, right? I do the same. I always have to watch something or be distracted while I'm lubing. Though I am... Okay, so when I'm watching something and I'm lubing, either it be a Twitch stream, Netflix show, whatever. I average about between 25 and maybe 28 switches an hour. And that's what's taking it apart too. You know, it's like I take that switch apart and I lube it and I put it back together. That's my average so far. But when I'm just doing it on my own, without like any distraction, no watching, no nothing, I average around 30-ish, low 30s. So it's not that many more. So I figure, why not watch something? Oh, Poplay. This is a family-friendly stream. Lunk, you were taking 15 minutes. Is that per switch? If that's per switch, that is a long, long time. Though I hear professional lubers, especially like the Korean builders, I hear that they can lube 60-70 switches in like an hour and a half. They're really, really quick. There we go, I think that's it. That's it. Let me put the rest of these screws away. One person, yeah! One person. At least that's what Popcorn of TX Keyboards told me. Professional keyboard luber from Korea. $200 APM. Alright. Let's just put all these screws away so I can start soldering. You want to hear those keys? Let me just add some dielectric grease where the wire actually meets the stabilizer. Okay, looks good. Looks good. All right, perfect. So I'm going to be putting Gateron yellows on these. These aren't just any Gateron yellows. These are Gateron yellows with milky top, black bottom, also lubed with 205G0. So I already know that this is going to sound better than the first reference board I built. Though if I can take it away from her work really quick, I might want to compare the two. Because those switches on that first reference board So before I transplanted them into that reference board, I had been using them in a different board, so they were already well worn in. And now that now that I used it for a couple months at work, and now she's been using it for the last year at work every day, it's probably even smoother. We'll see. We'll see. All right, look, I've never seen a vacuum sealed plate before. This is pretty interesting. Let's see, let me just poke a hole in it. Oh, I popped it. Ooh, there we go. No, my wife is not an SWE. She works in billing. Keep the flavor sealed in, yeah, right. The flavor of the plate, or the smell of the plate. Let's see. So Yan gave me some details on this. This came from an ALF group buy for the DC60, I believe. Ah, yes, it smells just like a fresh plate. Imagine creams being sealed like that. Ah, there we go. Looks good, looks good. Why is there a cut in the middle? This thing right here? That's probably because that's where one of the screws goes in. Alright, let's just test out the stabilizers before I actually start lubing everything, you know? I mean, before I start soldering everything. Backspace. Let's do enter. Ooh, it's tight. Left shift. And spacebar. Whew. Swiss cheese plate though. You thought it was a palm plate? No, no, I will not be using a palm plate for a reference build. That's just defeats the purpose of it. But let's see, did I do my stabilizers well? Hopefully I did. Enter. Enter key. Sounds good. Shift key. What other keys do I need? I need backspace. Where are you, backspace? Here, let's put the spacebar on first. What spring weight? These are stock Gateron yellows. Need that. Where the heck did I put the backspace key? Aha. Gotcha. Okay. Sounds pretty good. Might say so myself. I hear some rattle. Nope, no rattle. No rattle. Good job, Merlin. Yay, okay. I can start soldering. I can start soldering. I feel like this might be the 6th or the 7th Gateron yellow board that I've ever built for myself. Because I like it. It's just because I like it so much. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's see. Where's my solder? There's my solder. Get some solder. Put this board together. Let me actually just solder in all of the stabilizers. Should be good. Alright, turn on the soldering iron. What says that reverb? No, my hot milk tea is warm. Is cold. I should heat it up. Hello, hello. Actually, I've forgotten one thing that I should absolutely do before any kind of soldering work. You need to actually test that the PCB works. Absolutely got to do that. Though I did test this when I first received it and it worked then. So there's no reason why it wouldn't work again. Here, let's let me just pull up QMK configurator and test our PCB. There we go. Plug the board in. If I'm not mistaken. Oh, actually, let's not do QMK configurator. I think this board has VIA on it by default. Let me... Yep, it's got VIA. Let's do VIA. Let's do the VIA key tester. That's the way to do it. Let's just do it this way. So I can show off some of the VIA work that I've been doing as well. Scorch says, just dip your soldering iron into the tea. I wish. Alright, let's do this. Backspace. There, backspace. Oh, let's see. So they've got this key sounds feature. Here, I'm gonna pause my music so you guys can hear this. It's kind of funny. You guys hear that? Build. Are you guys hearing that at all? Here, let me pump up the volume. Might be too much, but you know. Yep, there we go. Hopefully you guys heard that. There we go. Potlight says, you have a Keebio code? Yes, I do. It's wizardhat. And it's only on a select few items. I believe it's on the Levinson, the Pro Micros, but not the Q frequency. I believe it's also on the Iris and a few others, if I might say so myself. Spacebar. All right, looks good. KBPP says, why not all keyboards supported in VIA configurator? Because there are over 600 keyboards in QMK right now. So just supporting, so back then when I started QMK configurator work, No Roads and I spent about 2 to 3 months supporting 200 boards in QMK configurator. VIA work is a little more involved in that because it's in 2 repositories. So if you want to put in all 600, it's going to take more than 2 people several months of work to get it all in. I'm personally doing all of the boards that I own. So I've already ported in the KBD67 Mark II RGBs, V1 and V2s. I've done, what else? I've done almost all the 1UP keyboards. I experimented with duck boards and that seems to work just fine. Yeah. And what else? What else do I have? Yeah, actually, I already have a couple boards that are supported by VIA just because I have Wilbur PCBs. Zark says, not all was supported either. EEPROM constraints and VUSB constraints as well. But if you guys want to see what the process is like, definitely tune in on Tuesdays. And on Tuesdays are my QMK porting days. And I guess these days I'm also playing with VIA. But, okay, let me solder in these particular switches. for my iron. Solji Osu says, Macmillan, help. How do I reset Wonderland PCB? I don't know. I don't know what a Wonderland PCB is. KBPP says, is it possible to add myself to VIA? Yes, it is. Absolutely. I've done one stream with it, so if you watch my VOD from last week, I have the procedure there, but I'm still learning myself. You can watch on Tuesday as well. Yeah, you can totally read Can I Use VIA? But the main requirement is it needs to be in QMK already. All right. Okay. Stabilizers. The keys that have stabilizers have all been soldered in. Hooray! And I can just take them off. Whew. All right, get all those off. You can start putting in the rest of the switches. And I felt one of my stabilizers actually pop out, or not my stabilizer, but the wire. So let me just fix that up real quick, 'cause that's not good. Soji Osu says, I'm trying to flash my hash file. You mean your hex file? Newsroom Cool says, are all washers for screw and stabs the same size universally? I would assume so. There we go. I did read about this for Durock stabs, but they tend to come loose. And I guess this is what happened to me. Right when I pulled out that Soji Osu says, please help me, Macmillan. Well, I cannot help you right now because I'm trying to build a board. But maybe you can chat with me after? Okay. Now this is problematic. I think I can pry it just enough that I can poke away at the stab. There. I should be able to just push it down. You can't find information on how to reset your PCB. Okay, I will, maybe after the stream. Newsoup Cool says, glad I didn't get Durock. Well, that's the thing. This happens on all stabs. Oh no, they all came loose. Great. Okay. Alright, I might have to actually desolder. No! How does that happen even? I think when I took off my left shift, it didn't like it. Okay, so basically I think all I need to do is just, I need like a longer screwdriver. It would appear that Durock has backstabbed me. Absolutely. Mav Master says, how are the purple Durock stabs? It's funny you asked that, as I struggle with a popped stabilizer stem. So right now is the opportune time to ask that question. Yeah, it's just with this one guy right here. I started with one stab loose, with one wire that came off, and then I ended up with two off. Okay. Good thing I didn't solder all of them. Whew. Okay. Really hope I don't need to desolder, because that would suck. But I got one of them back in. It's just that this last one, that sucks. Got one in, one more to go. Yusoji says, Discord invite. Yes, you can join my Discord server. As I said, I probably won't be able to help you any. But if you're just looking for the reset key, I would assume the reset key information is posted on QMK? One would assume, right? Who ported that board? Darn, if only I had a longer screw. I'm gonna get tweezers. Let's get tweezers really quick. Tweezers. All right, we back. We back. Okay. Almost. Oh, darn. So close. I almost did it. try that again. There we go. Did it. Yeah, this thing better not come out. There we go. Lubrigante with Wonderland PCB. I'm super curious now. What is the Wonderland PCB? Oh, it's from Martin Wood as well. He should have a reset button. Well, I'm trying to Google for you, man. Here, let me. Let's. Oh, here. Let me Google. There we go. Let's Google it together. Wonderland PCB by Martin what? Well, thanks for the bad photo here. Oh, look at that. Features ISP header and reset switch. So it's probably on the PCB somewhere, right? Maybe there's an image search. Oh, look. Look, there's a reset switch right there. Hey, right there. Reset switch should be on the back of the PCB. Okay. All right, let's continue with the soldering. Hopefully I won't. Oh, that's so annoying. So annoying that that happened. All right, okay. But before I do that, I think it's time I talk a little bit about some of my most wonderful sponsors in the world. The people who make this site possible. Here, let me bring up my little page. Zark says, Merlin, can't see your mouse. Oh, let me read all this stuff. Soji Osu, you should just open your board and you should be able to find it. All right, okay. We're just gonna go through this bit by bit. First, Novelkeys. If you guys have never heard of Novelkeys, Novelkeys is a keyboard company here in the United States, located in West Virginia. They started off with Kale switches, but since then they have sold quite a variety of things. If you're looking for group buys, just go through this really quick. Group buys are currently selling GMK Darling and Cam Rate. I'm actually very interested in Cam Rate, though not too sure about the profile. Let's see. Oh, and if you guys buy anything from Novelkeys, make sure you use discount code WIZARD. With WIZARD, you could get 5% off your entire order, except for group buys and pre-orders, apparently, or even extras, which I found out about when the NK65 extras went on sale. people could not use any of those codes. So no group buys, no extras, and no pre-orders, but 5% off everything else. Here, let me just post one of those links over to you guys. You love how I have loads of awesome keyboards and a generic mouse. This is a pluggable mouse, actually. Pluggable is a company located here in Washington. Look, while I'm at it, why don't I just show it to you guys? Pluggable mouse. It's this one. It uses a PM3360 sensor. Yeah, that's what I'm showing. They are not a sponsor, but they did send me this mouse a long time ago, so I figured I can't talk about them. Okay, next up is DixieMech. DixieMech is also a US-based keyboard seller. He's located in Alabama, and currently he's selling Moto Lite. He's also responsible for Burgundy last month. But yeah, if you guys are interested, definitely check out DixieMech for Moto Lite. I believe this is selling for, how much is it selling for? I believe it's less than $100, if I remember correctly. Where are his prices? Do we just have to click add? Oh, here we go. Here it is. So Moto Lite is from $99.99. I bet that's the base kit. Let's see. Okay. Then next up, ZealPC. ZealPC is actually one of my very first sponsors. He's located in Vancouver, Canada. I'll actually be meeting up with him next week at the Vancouver meetup. Next week Saturday, no, next week Sunday, Vancouver, Canada is having one of their first meetups this year. Sponsored by ZealPC, Ashkeebs, and a few of the other Canada retailers. Hopefully he'll have my Xeno, but you know, with coronavirus in China, that's very unlikely. But if you guys are looking for some neat switches, check out his Zelios, his Xylons, his Roselio switches. They are a bit pricey, so be aware, be aware. They can easily cost $1.20 per switch. Okay. See, and my latest sponsor is actually Project Keyboard. Yeah. Earlier this week, I talked with 159 of Project Keyboard, and I'm like, hey man, you've been sending me all of this awesome stuff, like ever since the very beginning, and I do talk about you every now and then, but I kind of want to make it official, you know? So he sent me a link, and I applied, and I got it. And yeah, earlier this week, he was selling Mauve and Lilac switches, which are currently sold out, so don't even try purchasing from them. But he still is continually selling Siriuses, or Sirii. He should be getting more in stock soon. But once again, I believe these are from China, so keep an eye out on coronavirus news. Unfortunately. And then last up is Keebio. Keebio is actually run by a fellow QMK collaborator, Baking Pie, or Danny, as some of you may know him. If you're interested in some split keyboards, some small ortholinears, basically project-based keyboards. Most of them look like something like this. It comes with a little plate, a back plate, a PCB, and the microcontrollers are usually driven by either a Pro Micro, a Proton C, or an Elite C. Definitely check out Keebio. He is also US based. On top of that, yes, I have a discount code. As Zark mentioned earlier, it is wizardhat, and you'll get up to 15% off on the Levinson, which is what I'm looking at right now, Pro Micro, Iris, and a few others. Not all of them, though. Let's see. All right. Now that we've covered that, we can get back to building. Let's see. Oh, lots of questions. Jeremy says, have you tried Cam yet? I did. I tried it briefly at a meetup, but you know, when you try stuff at a meetup, it's kind of like, okay, this feels good, but you don't really know until you take it home and type on it. It felt good, like I didn't have any bad feelings about it. Mohoggle Score says, okay, didn't say anything. Didn't say anything about what? Should I sub says, secret good mouse, yeah. Lucifer the Angel says, the Telios V2 switches, are they more tactile than Holy Pandas? Yes, they are, actually. Well, it depends on what kind of tactility you want, but I feel for the type of tactility that I like, which is a nice big round bump, I feel V2s are more tactile than Holy Pandas. That's not to say that Holy Pandas are bad or that Telios V2s are bad. Oh, no, wait, you said Telios, not... Okay, I think we're both confused at this point. Do you mean Telios, which are linear, or Zelios, which are tactile? Blank says, Project Keyboard is the guy to ask... Project Keyboard is the guy to ask if you want a custom palm plate. It's not something that he habitually carries. I think you just reach out to him. If you know him, he'll cut something for you. He cut something for me just because, as I said earlier, he's always been supporting this channel. So yeah. Mohoggle said, didn't say anything about your mouse. I'll take everything back. Looks good. It's pretty affordable. Okay. Lucifer the Angel says Zelios. Yeah, okay. So Zelios V2, back to what I was saying earlier. Zelios V2 are more tactile for if you want a nice big bump. But that's not to say that Holy Pandas are bad or Zelios are bad. That's just my own personal preference. Where can I see the difference between them? You can't see the difference between them. You really need to feel it. Nathan Bear says, drunk stream? Not today. Drunk streams only happen on Tuesdays when I'm coding. All right. Let's see. Let's get back to soldering the rest of this board together. Because this isn't a palm plate, I don't need to floss it like what I was doing with my Satisfaction. There we go. Start putting them all in and solder them. Suji says, QMK Toolbox says, but keyboard doesn't work. Uh-oh. Well, like I said, I am currently busy building a keyboard, but if you want QMK help, you can hit me up after the stream. Nathan Bear says, have you seen the Dawn 75% KB? I think I have. You missed the Satisfaction? Yeah, that's probably the board that everyone wants right now. And I'm pretty glad that I got in on it. But I don't think the Dawn 75 is currently on group buy, is it? Let me just look really quick. I think that's still like a month out, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything really quick right now. But yeah, I'm a big fan of 75s. It looks good to me. I think it'll be good. Suji says, "Oh, okay, I'll stop bothering you." What do you guys think? Should I like set up a stream where it's just live QMK help? Because I do get questions quite frequently. Though I am hoping that once we get more boards with VIA, as long as the board ships with the VIA firmware, making key maps isn't going to be difficult. Nordic says the mech of Merlins. Lucifer says, why can't I just buy pandas the same way I buy Zelios? Actually, you can. So the history behind that, why it may seem difficult, is because pandas are a combination of several switches. So people bought 2 switches and put them together back then. So until recently, that's what you had to do. But as of right now, there should be a drop Holy Panda sale going on. Let me link it to you really quick. There we go. There's the link with my affiliate link right there. So I am not well versed to the Holy Panda pricing. Oh, why is my music not playing? There we go. I'm not well versed to Holy Panda pricing, so I don't know if it's cheaper to buy it from Mass Drop directly, or if you can still save some money by buying like the 2 separate parts. But the funny thing is, there we go. I still have a bunch of Holy Pandas that I have yet to put in a board. The reason why I have so many is because I'm still waiting for that Xeno. This is what's going in that Xeno. And I guess it's not happening anytime soon, unfortunately. Blue Luster says, is your main job keyboard building? No, but it is what I like to do on my free time. You're waiting for the Godspeed? Oh yeah. I think the Godspeed is really cool with its built-in hub. I think that's only the third keyboard that I know of in our community which has that hub. Blue Luster says he's my boss. Don't dox me, Nordic. Shh. Don't dox me. But yes, that is true. You just wish it had WinKey? I am actually the same way. I need a WinKey for my command key. And it's like people are like, but Merlin, you can just put the command right next to the spacebar, like what Apple usually does. But I always like my command key where the Win key is, so, you know. Mac users unite. Nordic says, it's coming time to get a new keyboard. Really? Well, let me know if you wanna, what new keyboard you wanna get. I can even build it for you on stream. Try getting good ISO boards with penguins on it. Yeah, too. Like, that's true. I feel like here in the US is where a majority of the keyboard enthusiasts are. Also a majority of where the keyboard vendors are. Like, I was just looking at my... Okay, so on my Discord, I'm trying to make it more informational, especially to newcomers. And I was building a list of all the keyboard vendors that I know of. And I've only done like the US so far, and here in the US we have like 15. And it's like, holy crap, that's so many. Lucifer the Angel says, first keyboards of my life. And one is with clicky box navy and the other with tactile heavy switches, and was just wondering what was the difference between the two. One of them's tactile, one of them is clicky. But clicky switches also tend to be tactile. Jeremy says, you joined the PHMech groups on FB, trying to find that buy-in set. If I were to make a where to buy post in US, it would be breaking rules. Ooh. Dude, are you even Filipino? Yes, I'm Filipino. Cool. There is supposedly a keyboard meetup happening in June in the Philippines. which I'm hoping will coincide with my trip there. You know, like I love my family and all, but sometimes when you just spend day in, day out of your family, sometimes you just need a break. And maybe it will give me an opportunity to introduce some family members to my wonderful hobby. Or they'll finally see how crazy I am. Fatty, thanks for joining in. Fatty says, can anyone help me to download QMK Toolbox on my PC because I've downloaded it but it didn't work? It should work, but as you can see, I'm currently building a board right now. If you want to ping me after the stream or just join me on Discord, it can probably help out. Jeremy says, trips back home are very tiring unless you're in resort areas. That is actually what I am trying to aim for. This is the first time my wife will be going to the Philippines. I think it's also her first time going to a third world nation. So I'm expecting some culture shock. So to lessen that blow, we are looking at resorts. Do I have a planned itinerary? Not quite yet. I'm returning home primarily for a wedding. So until I know exactly what needs to happen during that time, things are still up in the air. But Jeremy, if you have any ideas of what I can do, I'll primarily be in the Manila region. So if you have any ideas of stuff I should check out, please message me. Because even though I'm Filipino, I've never really lived in the Philippines. I'm very much a tourist still. Alright, I think I can start soldering. I'm going to leave the bottom row and the right shift area for last, so I can check it with keycaps before I solder. Actually, I don't need to do that. I know where the keys go. Okay, there we go. Looks good. Looks good. Time to solder. What's everyone talking about here? Jeremy says Boracay or Palawan. Or El Nido. I've never heard of El Nido. Someone's talking about 4 gigabytes of RAM. Okay. Is Linux Mint any good? I hear good things, but I personally have never used it. I'm an Ubuntu and Fedora user. Though I haven't used Fedora in like 3 years. Freddy says 44551 says McMerlin, this your name in this? What? Is this your name in Discord? If you do exclamation point Discord, you'll actually find my Discord server and you can ping me there. But yeah, my name is McMerlin on Discord as well. It's #2999. Alright, Jeremy, I'm not gonna remember all these things, so please ping me after the stream. I'm very curious. I'd love to hit up all these places. Gotta claim my name on all social media platforms before I blow up. Existentially Yours says, evening friends, good evening to you too, and thanks for joining in. Fatty subscribed at tier 1, thank you so much. Right. Okay. Soji says, Merlin, is it safe to assume that the Wonderland is at Mega 32U4? Can't find that info anywhere. No, it is not safe to assume anything. You need to know what you have. I would totally Google that information. So like the thing with firmware is you need to, it's a one-to-one relationship for the most part. So firmware only works on the board that it's made for. So if you don't know what microcontroller it is and you make firmware for one microcontroller, things aren't going to work out for you. Blue Luster, thanks for following. So, Soji, if it's in QMK, you can look in QMK, look at the rules.mk file, and it'll tell you what microcontroller it is. Right. Time to pull out more solder. Blue Luster, you're in Vancouver? Definitely say hello if you see me. I'll be up there with my wife. So yeah. We're gonna be there the day before the meetup too. And if you're on the Vancouver Discord server, a few of us are talking about hanging out on the town the night before. So far it seems to be bars, so hopefully you're of legal drinking age up there in Canada. $15 raters from Mr. Keebs? Mr. Keebs, I didn't know you were streaming today. Thank you, Mr. Keebs, and thank you everyone who's joining in. If it's your first time on my channel, I build keyboards, obviously, but I also build keyboards on the software end. I write a lot of the QMK firmware for boards that come out to the community, and lately I've been experimenting with VIA, so my streams on Tuesdays when I do that stuff will definitely take a different turn. Right now I am building a reference build. Basically it's just a plain 60C PCB from Martin Watt with Gateron yellow switches lubed with 205G0. It's going into a Tofu, and I'm going to use this board to essentially grade other builds that I do. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you, Mr. Keebs, for rating. Mr. Keebs, I heard some murmurs that you're going to be at KeyCon. I really hope that you show up there because I would love to meet you. Nordic says, that raid. Solji says, how do I get to the roles? It's not roles, it's rules. Like, rule breaker, rule. And if you look up, I think someone already answered what your question was. Mr. Keebs, are you on? Not hearing him message me. So for those of you who are coming in on Mr. Keebs' stream, I do a lot of QMK programming, and there's one particular step in which after you've traced your entire board and you've labeled your KLE with all of the pin numbers and stuff, there's that step where you have to manually write that all out into code. Mr. Keebs did me a great service by making a script that takes the KLE raw and generates the appropriate H file. So I'm like, oh, thank you. You cut my stream by 15 minutes, sometimes more, depending on the layouts. Because, you know, it was such like an error-prone process. If you guys watch like my earlier streams, there are portions where I'm like, huh, it's not working. Why? And I look at the layout and it's all just, oh crap, I made a mistake here. Blue Luster says, is keyboard coding like normal PC coding? What's normal PC coding? Porting a board into QMK used to be more code heavy, but these days, similar to the scripts that Mr. Keebs created, a lot of it is very just, you know, just take a script, you run it, and you have what you need. The one thing that we can't really automate right now is actually tracing the board. That's still the very manual process. But these days it's super automated. In terms of actually coding drivers for the board, you need to know, well, you need to have a good grasp of the C programming language. And you also need to be somewhat familiar with your bitwise operations and bitwise logic. In terms of complexity of algorithms, I think the most complex thing I've seen are like nested for loops. But other than that, yeah, not so much. All right, I'm ready to do the bottom row. YC400 says, hello, first time viewer. Well, thank you for joining in. If it's your first time watching a keyboard related show, my channel's all about building keyboards. I build these for myself, like this one's for myself, and for customers who want custom build services. On my other streams during the day, I write code for keyboards such as these, because not every keyboard that comes out is in QMK, and I try to make it so. Oh, and QMK is the open source keyboard software that most people use. Mechanic says, do you use a solder fan? Sometimes I do, but I've noticed that my mic picks it up so much, so some days I just leave this window open. So occasionally you will hear cars go by. Maybe sometimes you'll hear an ambulance. Who knows? Okay. I need 1.25 U keys. 1.25 U keys. Cozy, you resubscribed. Thank you so much. All right, I need 1.25 U keys. Where are they? And Cozy says, hi. Well, hi to you too. Thanks for joining in. So Blue Luster says, so there are keyboards that don't work unless you run it on software. Well, keyboards need firmware in order to communicate with whatever host that you plug it into. So for example, so QMK firmware is the firmware that goes onto a keyboard that allows you to do that. Okay, I need at least two 1.25 U keys, or let's make that 3, so I can appropriately do all the measurements. There we go. Perfect. Got them all. Visionaire says, hello Merlin, hello to you too. Did you get a chance to try out my little VIA code? Did it work for you? I mean, there's things that have, yeah, I know, man. That's why I do try to be careful. If you notice, I don't breathe in when I'm soldering. Some people use unleaded solder. Well, that's the thing. I've noticed that the fumes from unleaded solder are actually more harmful than the fumes from leaded solder. Or at least to me, that's what irritates me more. Okay. Let us figure this out. What is the board on my desk? If you want to know what board I have on my desk, do ! keyboard, and the bot will tell you what it is. But this is a DZ60 and an XD64. It's running V1 Xilinx, 67G V1 Xilinx, and it is this is the cheapest top mount case I've been able to find. I actually reviewed it on my channel quite some time ago. From says, how have you been, Merlin? I've been doing good. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Xenophobia says, how many DZ60 variants are there? Quite a few. Now blue? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, this isn't a DZ60. This is a plain 60C from Martin Watt. And you can actually purchase his PCBs on Kingly Keys now. Sounds really good. All right, I'm gonna solder in these switches so I can reuse the caps to figure out that other side. Woo-hoo-hoo. Just need 4 more switches and I should be good. You got it now, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you're actually the one who wanted that command so people could tell what board I was using versus what board I was building. Vorteku says, you may have gotten yourself over your head. Well, if you're here within the continental United States, I do build for customers too. If you think it's too difficult, I'm more than willing to build a keyboard for you. It looks hard until you actually try and do it. Well, if you've never soldered before, you should absolutely practice on something first, just because it does look harder than it looks. But until you try it, like once you try it, I guarantee you'll be like, oh, that wasn't too difficult. How did I learn how to solder? I was in grade school, and we had like a science day where people came to like teach you stuff, and yeah, I think that was my first interaction with it. And even as a kid, I had little electronics projects that I did around the house. But yeah, I've been soldering since I was a kid. Stash Builds Board says, "What's up, brother man? What's up to you too?" Just doing my weekly keyboard build. What are some starter kits for soldering? If you go on SpaceCat, actually, SpaceCat has some learn to solder kits, which I just found out about recently. Let me just link it to you. SpaceCat Learn to Solder Kit. SpaceCat is another vendor located here in the United States. So I'm just gonna link that to you, one blue guy, or I guess whoever wants to know. SpaceCat Designs. It's literally called an L2 solder kit. Learn to solder. Super basic numpad with no brain in it. It just lights up. But yeah, if you're interested in having me build your keyboard, definitely hit me up on Discord, send me a PM, and I'll see what I can do for you. I've been building keyboards since about, quote unquote, professionally speaking wise, I've been building boards for people since probably 2017, mid to late 2017. I started off basically like on Craigslist. People wanted switches on their Corsair or on their Razer board. So I had to desolder their entire board, then put the switches that they want in. And if you know anything about OEM boards, they are lead-free solder. So imagine desoldering a whole board like that with just a suction pump. It was hell, but you know, I got it to work. So here in Seattle, Washington, there are people with Razers, Corsairs, with Gateron switches or whatever was popular back in 2017. Oh, Ergo Clears. I think one of my friends asked for his, oh, what keyboard was that? It was not Corsair, it was not Razer. It was like another popular gaming brand, but he changed out the browns for Ergo Clears on that. Alright, let's see, how's my soldering job here? Do all of my joints look good? Yep. Oh, that's not so conical. Alright, looks good. Looks good. Now let's test the actual board. Let's test the actual board and make sure it works before I do anything else. And while we're at it, let's use VIA again. Why not, right? Why not? Let's use VIA again. I'm gonna turn off the music again so you guys can hear the beautiful sounds that VIA does. Quote unquote beautiful. Where did I put VIA? Where are you? Searching for devices. Let's plug you in again. Uh-oh. Not being detected. Key tester. Oh. It is being detected. Okay, let's try that again. Oh wait. I said I was going to show you guys some music. Let's do that. Let's reset it. Reset the board. And let's play some music. Okay. That's probably the FN key. Let's check. No, that's not an FN key. Here, let's configure. It's not registering as anything. It's not registering as anything because I didn't solder it. So much for checking. No, wait, I did solder it. Alright, I'm going to flash the board. You're going to flash it with my key map, actually. So my key map doesn't actually have VIA enabled, but that's alright. That's alright. I always forget the path to Martin's boards. Let's see, it is Martin what / plane 60. Okay, let's do that. / plane 60 : Mech Merlin : flash. Let's reset the board. Reset button. Reset. And flash. No target Mech Merlin shoots. What was my... It was Mech Merlin - split. There we go. That's it. There we go. It's compiling my key map and flashing the board. Okay. It works now. Does VIA still work? Okay. Right. Let's do. Perfect. Okay, those keys work. Excellent. We're good. We're good. All keys work. Okay. We are going to put it in the case now. Ooh, lots of comments here today. So many comments. Let's see. Blue Luster says Space Cat has so many things. Absolutely. He has like so many random keyboards. It's pretty cool. Okay. Let's pull out this case. Where did I put that case? Here it is. Hot pink. Hot pink. Hot pink case. Right there. Code says, how can I justify buying Mito Godspeed keycap set? It's 170. It doesn't ship until mid-August, so maybe I can just say that I'll have made the money back by then. Think about it this way. Most GMK keycap sets you can sell for, I'd say, 20 to 30% more than it has. Think about it this way. 20 to 30% more than you bought it for. Sometimes double, sometimes triple for the more prestigious sets, I guess. Think about the stock market. If you put money into the S&P 500, that typically only increases 7 to 8% an entire year. A keycap group buy will be delivered in less than a year, and you can sell it for 20 to 30% more. In terms of investments, you should put all of your retirement money into GMK keycap sets. Sell your house, take out a second mortgage, and buy just GMK key sets. No, do not listen to me. I am not a financial analyst. I'm just a person who makes keyboards. See, Cozy gets me. Like, honestly, think about it. Okay. But what I'm looking for right now are screws to go into the keyboard, because I don't seem to have had any sent to me, which is problematic. Aha! I found screws. That should be fine, right? I have screws which look like they can go into a keyboard. You can't sell them because you like them so much. I know, man. I know. That's the thing about hobbies. Like, if you want to make money, like, if you want to have a hobby, you need to understand that if you like your hobby a lot, you might not earn that much money, especially if it's acquisition-based, kind of like keyboards. By acquisition-based, I mean, like, there's always something new to buy. Okay, no, those screws are too big. I cannot use these screws. Okay, time to look for other screws. Do I have any other screws that might work? You know, I'm going to borrow it from another keyboard that I haven't used. Borrow the screws. Borrow the screws. Cozy, there are some people who buy 2 sets every group buy. One to keep and one to sell to finance another set that they want to buy. And there are even some people with the money like to, what do you call that? Some people with the money like to buy 3 sets. One to put on their board, one to keep in their collection, and one to sell. But, you know, that tends to escalate in price really quickly. would not recommend it unless you have a lot of money. Are there ever second runs? Absolutely. I believe this is the second time SA Godspeed has run, but the first time GMK Godspeed has run. So it doesn't happen often. It does happen. Like Nautilus round 2 is happening as well. Swing that. Okay, so based on my calculation, if you guys go to my Discord server, and take a look at the running GMK keyset group buy, if I'm counting correctly, there are 12 GMK keyset group buys happening this month alone. And there are others, like there's the Cat Lucky Jade, there's the, what else is this? What else is there? There's Cat Lucky Jade, Cat. Ooh, you know what? I just found something. I'm taking apart one of these boards. I'm going to do something different with this. Does that devalue the original set? Absolutely. So you gotta sell. If you're looking to sell, you gotta sell at the right time. Okay, so one thing I remembered that I had. This foam, plate foam, especially plate foam with my logo on it. So I'm gonna put it on the reference build. Like so, there we go. And then put the board in. It's another precaution so that I don't short the board. Not if you buy the entire second run. Touché, you got me there. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, there are more than 12, 13 GMK group buys happening. Think about this. If you want to buy all of them, and since they're all around $100, you need $1,300 just to buy everything this month alone in terms of GMK. And maybe another $200-300 if you want to buy like Cat Wraith from Novelkeys, or Cam Wraith from Novelkeys, or Cat Lucky Jade from Canon Keys. You know, there's a lot. That doesn't even include group buys for keyboards or for keyboard switches, all that stuff. There's just too much in our hobby going on. All right. Okay. There we go. There it is. I'm gonna put keycaps on it now. So far it's sounding really good. Okay, let's populate the board. Well, the keycaps aren't really gonna match it just because I couldn't find my black keys. Well, I kind of have the black keys. Like here, look at this control key right there. I could probably get parts of it. We'll see, we'll see. What's the first ever GMK set? I would imagine it's one of the OGs, like Olivetti, or maybe Dolce. No, actually Dolce came later, but probably Olivetti. That would be my guess. I'm sure you can look it up. Oh shoot, sorry guys. I set up the music to be loud because I was doing like my key testing. But I forgot to set it back down again. Thanks for saying something. You going deaf? Antsy instead of Sangan though. Ultra silent switches. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. This sounds really good. I have another Gateron yellow board which we are gonna compare this to. Then you guys can hear that difference. Gat yellow, lubed with 205G0. Suji says, Merlin, whenever I select the key as delete, it turns into end whenever I flash it. Everything works with that. Yeah, I could probably help you after the stream. But yeah, I should be almost done. Lux says, are Gat yellows worth filming? Here, let me show you if it's worth filming. Okay. So I personally haven't felt much of a difference, but here we go. let me shake something. Okay, so the reason why you film switches is number one, either the stem wobbles way too much or the housing wobbles way too much. If your housing starts wobbling like crazy, then you know that you need to like film it. So here, this is a tangerine right now. Like I'm not really sure what switches would need it. But here, let me find a plate. Here we go. Just for example's sake, we're gonna talk about this. Just because this is, okay. We are gonna have a ink switch. Let's do an ink switch. We are gonna do a clear get yellow. And we are gonna do a, what other switches do I have lying around? Oh, here we go. A Cherry MX blue. Let's do that. Let's do all that. What else? What else? What other random switches do I have sitting around? Do I have one? Nope, just blues. Oh, here. Here is my latest Franken switch that went into my satisfaction. These are actually filmed. So we're just gonna go about this. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and wobble stems and see if the housing actually wobbles too. Hopefully I can show this properly since I don't have a overhead camera. Yeah, let's start with the Gateron ink. Let's do that. Alright. Gateron ink top wobbles a little bit. Gateron yellow. Top doesn't wobble that much. Cherry MX blue. Wobbles so much. And my Franken switch, which has already been filmed, doesn't wobble very much either. So based on my small sample size here, this particular Gateron ink could use, oh, it's also really loose, so that's probably why it's wobbling. But Gateron yellows don't seem to absolutely need films. So yeah, I guess if you want to, then sure. All right. But let me continue putting keycaps on here. Oh, keycaps, keycaps, keycaps. Blue Luster says, there is no one site that has all the GMK group buys. There is no one site because it's kind of like, think of a GMK key set as like a car, you know? Not one website is gonna show all the cars that are for sale. Monk says, I heard once that one of the reasons Gaterons are smoother than cherries because they are looser, causing more wobble. That is true. That is true. But when lube is properly applied, you can mitigate some of that wobble. Most keys in already. I had an FN key earlier. Let's do some of these. Where was that FN key? Let's do that. And that. Oh, now I find the FN key. There are minimum order quantities for a set to be made. Yes, there is. If you're using stock colors, a base kit typically needs 150 for minimum order quantity. If you're using custom colors, you need 250. How many orders are there usually for a kit? It varies depending on how popular that kit is or who the vendor is. Like, for example, if you go to vendors like Novelkeys, DixieMech, or Drop, they typically sell keyboards in the thousands. That is not the spacebar I want. Alright, there we go. Oh, the dreaded left shift, the enter. Alright, here we go. Hopefully I'll find my actual white on black, because that's what I want to go on this. But here we go. This is what it looks like. This is actually really, really light. Here, let's do a typing test, huh? Let's do a typing test. How fast I can type on this bad boy. Let us do Typings.gg. Okay. Let's pick one that actually matches what I have here. Denim. Denim looks close. There we go. Denim. Somewhat close. Let's move this back a bit. So far this board is sounding really good. Oh yeah, let's pause the music again. Listen to that. That sounds so good. Ooh, so good. Okay, let's see. How fast can I type on this board? Or how accurate can I type on this board? Let's see. So many mistakes already. $119. Okay. Looks exactly like GMK denim. Yeah, sure. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. Since Cozy Fanatuti is such a critic, let's pick something. Here, Oblivion. Oblivion looks closer. It's closer, right? Closer. Closer. Whoa. $129, accuracy 88%. Okay. Yeah, I like how it sounds, but let's pull out another board that has Gateron yellows in it. Put this guy away. Put him away. We have another board that's Gateron yellow. Ah! Let's drop that board there. There we go. Another Gateron yellow board. I think this is the first Gateron yellow that I built. Here we go. Let me show you guys. This is SA 1979 or 1976 actually, in a wooden case. It has regular Gateron yellows, not even the milky tops, just the clear tops, unlubed, unnothing. It has a, what's the name of that PCB? It's from Minivan. Oh, it's the banana split PCB, and it has a stainless steel plate in a wooden case. So just to show you guys the difference in sounds. Difference in sound. Both Gateron yellow, just different case, different keycaps. So yeah, let's do backspace first. Do enter key. Space bar. Yeah, I know, right? Shift key. New Keeb is comparatively lame. Yeah, I know, right? And this is supposed to be like my reference build. Metal case and all that. Maybe because it's a wooden case. Look at that. Mohoggle says, did you post that on Reddit a while ago? I did. But this is a pretty popular color scheme. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's done it. They're both Gateron yellows. So let's take another Gateron yellow board that I own. Let's see. What can I pull out that's Gateron yellow? Gateron yellow but metal case. I think I have just the board. Alright guys, another metal board, also Gateron yellow, not the top, not the milky top, I mean, just a regular clear top, and PBT granite, DSA granite. Talisman gifting tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. Dude. You also shared rewards to 5 others in chat. Very cool. Thank you so much, man. A very different sound. Yeah, I don't have another Gateron yellow board that's just in a similar ABS profile. But here, let's compare it with what I think is my best sounding board. The best sounding board in my collection, I think, is my Volcano 660 with just regular Gateron inks, but it's also a gasket mount. So that backspace sounds so good. Yeah, this is still my best sounding board. This is turning into a porn performance. Oh gosh, yeah. Alright, well. Oh yeah, I don't know. I feel like as long as any board I build sounds better than this, I should be happy. Because what? This is a Tofu. Nothing special there, and it's tray mount. And it's ABS caps. Like sure, it's been lubed with 205 G0, but you know, nothing completely awesome to write home about. Soji says, has he ever taken off the hat? No, I don't. If I take off the hat, the stream needs to end, so I can't take it off until the stream has ended. You like the space bar and the tofu? Yeah, I feel like my it's started to develop a rattle, so I might have to add some extra lube to it, but we'll see. Compare it to an OEM board. I don't have any OEM boards. Yeah, I don't. I can't think of any. Like, I have some vintage boards, but, you know. Soji Osu, this hat hasn't been washed since I inherited it from the real Merlin back in the 1300s. Okay, let's see. What was I going to do next? Oh, yeah. Well, like, the stream is pretty much over. Just want to thank you, everyone, for joining in. Just wanted to give a quick preview of what I'll be doing in the future. And just as I said that, I realize it's not here, but I will show you really quick. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm doing VIA work now. So what's cool about VIA is that you are able to change your key map, change your lights off the fly. And Zark, I've been talking to Zark about this PCB, so he knows all about this. But yeah, just a quick preview of what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday. It might not be exactly this board, but it'll be close. If you guys recognize what this is. This is the PCB in the Duck Eagle V2. Formerly, you could only flash it using their proprietary O2D tool made by Duck himself. About 2 years ago, I ported this board into QMK, so it became a lot easier for people to flash their board. Last week, I was playing around with it a little bit more, and I got VIA to work on it too. So you may be wondering, Merlin, I thought you built your Duck Eagle. Why have you not used it? I'm like, well, that's the thing. I don't really like this PCB. And because of how difficult it was to flash and everything, I've stopped using it. But now that VIA works on it again, I might just use it. Here we go, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, the lights are on, all that. Pretty typical, pretty typical. But, here. Let me just bring up VIA really quick. Here we go. We're going to plug in the duck board. Is Duck the guy who invented the Ducky1-2 Mini? No. Duck is the guy who created duck boards. They're high-end Korean customs, retailing about 300 during the group buy. Hold on, I'm gonna need to let me actually pull up my right branch with this in here. It is Eagle Via, that's where it is. There we go. Okay. We are going to load up the appropriate design files. And boom. All right. Okay, so the Duck Eagle Viper V2 is now supported in VIA. And the coolest thing about that is you can do this. Let's pick a color. Let's pick pink. Let's pick blue. Let's pick yellow. Let's pick red or white. And you can even change, let's set to breathing. There we go. It's breathing. Let's do rainbow. What does rainbow do? Let's increase the effect speed. Oh. Can change the brightness. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? So yeah, I think this is good. I'll probably be pushing the code sometime soon once I find some time. I need to make some dinner really quick and all that. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining the stream. If you guys want me to build your boards, definitely hit me up in Discord. Fully able to do that. I do charge a fair amount, including shipping. So yeah, if it's best for you if you are located within the continental United States. I had one person who wanted to send me a board from the Middle East, and we calculated shipping, and I'm like, you know, just shipping alone for your Tofu, actually. He actually wanted me to build a Tofu. Just shipping to me and back to you just for your Tofu build, it's gonna be like 180 bucks. I'm like, that's almost the cost of your actual keyboard. I would suggest you look for someone in your own country or someone relatively close. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, yeah, thanks guys for joining in. How many of you were there today? Let me take a quick look. 55 people. Thanks for joining in, guys. If you guys want to catch any more of my content, definitely hit me up on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I post on those frequently. If you want to ask me questions about keyboards in general or just want to chat, hit me up on Discord. And my next stream should be tomorrow evening. I'll be doing... I actually haven't quite decided. As Sunday nights are usually my anything goes build. Sometimes I'm building a board, sometimes I'm programming a board. In some cases, I just play games. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow evening. But yeah, if you guys want to catch that, hit me up tomorrow evening at 8:30 or 9 p.m. PST. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow evening. And yeah, I will be... Let's see, what do I have to do today? Still have to make some dinner and all that good stuff. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Goodbye and thank you.